I was told to document the story of my family, or better, our history, and present it to you all in a documentary. And there was so much I wanted to talk about my family, but one thing was separated from the rest. And it was that idea that we're from immigrants. And the fact that what they've learned as immigrants was passed on to us. And you can see it even now in our family. And this wall, this long wall, this, or what some people would like to call a fence, it's a symbol. It's a symbol to us of where we came from and where we're at now. It's a symbol of this separation between two countries that my family has been in, both of them. Where sadly we see the separation from it. And it's the Mexico that my grandfather lived in, the Mexico that my aunt lived in too, and the Mexico that my little brother never really lived in. But it also represents the United States that my grandfather migrated to, and the one that my aunt migrated to, and the one that my brother has always known. But this wall, it's far different. It reminds us of our perseverance and the idea of living in the borderlands, La Frontera. It always reminds us of where we're at. And my grandfather wanted my mom, my aunt, my uncles to create this life for themselves better than what they had. And so that way one day they could pass that on to their children. As I live in Brunswick, Texas, on the southern border between the US and Mexico, I live with my mother, and she passed down to me the teachings that her mother and her father gave to her. Those very lessons that immigrant families always create, and it's to always give the best and to always strive for the best. And that is so present. That's an ideology present in the past, the present, and in the future of our family. My grandfather, he was interviewed for this documentary. Well, in a certain way. He didn't want to be recorded audio or video. But he gave me this information for me to pass on to you all. When asked about a story, one that comes to mind about himself, he gave me the story about when he was living on the side of the Rio Grande River with only 25 cents to his name. And he was so scared he'd be robbed by the time he came back. But all he wanted to do was make enough money so he could get out and find a place to live. So when I asked him what he found so important about where he lives now, which is his huge property, he said that this was his reminder that he was living like a king now. He had made it. This American dream that he's finally able to achieve. He has it. He gets to see nature. He gets to feel this nice, beautiful world and sees it through his own place where he can live because he was able to earn it. We live in the country, you see. It's silent, nobody bothers us, and that's just how my grandfather loved it. He also said that it was important for him to reach something like this because it was a sign that his hard work was there, and he would pass that on to his children. So when asked what was the most important lesson to his children and how it related to back then to now, he said that no matter what he has, he always had his children. Family was the one thing that was always there. Working hard, perseverance, fighting to see another day. It was all worth it because it was family. He hopes all Latinos have that family. And if they don't, they fight for their own people. And that he hopes that one day, whether we are light-skinned or dark-skinned, all us Latinos see each other as a family, and we work for each other as my grandfather worked for his own family. ¿Se puede introducir, por favor?
Mi nombre es Virginia de la Garza, soy la tercera hija de 7 hermanos. Mis padres, Victorio Díaz, Virginia Díaz, y vivo aquí en Brownsville.
Yo sé que mi abuelita lo llevó a la pista. ¿Me puede decir una historia de eso?
Cuando yo tenía 13 años, mis padres decidieron llevarnos a Michigan, donde piscamos la cherry. Estábamos ahí nada más por las vacaciones de la escuela, para poder recaudar dinero y ayudar a la familia. Fue una experiencia bastante, pues yo digo, importante en mi vida, porque supe lo que era un trabajo duro, pesado, y pues aprendí a apreciar un poquito más lo que hacían mis padres, que sí era difícil trabajar en la labor.
Ok, pues por favor, ¿me puede decir cómo era la crítica contra los latinos, especialmente esos que trabajaban en la pizca en ese tiempo?
Bueno, mucha gente realmente se estaba acostumbrado a que los niños trabajaran en la labor. No era una crítica muy severa, porque era algo así como que era normal, no era todo mundo, éramos niños, o sea, eran familias, los hijos trabajaban, los papás trabajaban. Nunca oí una crítica de por qué los niños trabajaban en la labor. Lo que sí sé que era difícil levantarte a las 4 de la mañana cuando estaba el frío muy fuerte y al mediodía el sol, y pues era algo difícil para un niño de 13 años hacer eso.
Y de todas esas experiencias de que usted habla, también de su familia en la pizca, ¿qué le enseñó eso a usted? ¿Y cómo se lo pasó a su hija?
Bueno, como estaba diciendo, al ver que era tan difícil esa vida, entonces yo, claro, después de adulta y de tener mi hija, decidí enseñarla a que tenía que ella seguir la escuela, el colegio, ser alguien, y que no pasara, o sea, la misma experiencia que yo pasé con mis padres, porque yo sabía que era la superación.
¿Y por qué, de todo lo que usted habló ahorita, de lo que le pasó a su hija y de esa experiencia, por qué el latino de ahorita debe de aprender eso?
Bueno, porque hay más oportunidades y las deben de aprovechar, y pues para que se den cuenta que el latino queremos superarnos, y queremos tomar las ventajas que están ahí, y buscar la superación, venimos a trabajar, venimos a ser productivos a la sociedad, y siento yo que las oportunidades están ahí y hay que aprovecharlas.
Gracias. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, my name is Eric. I'm a senior at Idea Frontier, and after graduating this year, I will be attending the University of Texas at Austin as a theater and dance major with a concentration in performance process, with dreams of aspiring to be a professional actor.
You talk about professional acting. Tell us a story about that.
In the summer of 2017, I went out to New York for a summer program at a very prestigious conservatory for acting called AMDA, American Musical and Dramatic Academy, and that's the first time I had a professional, strong training in acting, and I got a lot of good advice from there and a lot of good details as for how to provide for myself and my acting.
So you talk about a lot about providing. Tell us how being in New York and that providing for yourself relates to your immigrant family and just being Latino and being out in the north.
I just think it's a lot about, working for what you want to do and working for the bettering of yourself and my art. So being out there kind of helped me understand what I want to do and why I want to do it and how I'm gonna do it. So it kind of put me on a path, and just like immigration and just like crossing the border and giving yourself a life here in the United States, it kind of gives you an opportunity to be able to say, hey, this is how I want to go and this is the path that I'm going to do it. And, New York opened my eyes to actually understanding why I want to do what I want to do and how I'm going to do it. So, thank you, New York.
Yeah. And who else in your life do you think gave you that ambition? Would it be your mother, your grandfather, your tias? Was it mostly their motivation that mixed into you creating your motivation?
I think it's just a cultivation of all of them. Understanding how hard they work to be at where they were, just understanding how hard they work to be where they're at, and understanding that they weren't given what they were given, they weren't given what they have, just because they were given it. They had to work for it, and they had to work twice as hard because coming from an immigrant family, it's not as easy to have as many resources and have as much, good standing as other people who are already stable and who are already, citizens or residents, and, they had to do it in their way and they had to work for it harder, 10 times harder as a regular American or a regular Hispano living in the United States.
These fields there's something else, and they're a reminder of where my aunt worked and where we're now. The land that my grandfather owns and he was able to create for my own family. But it reminds us about the past, the present, and my future of my family. That's really what this is all about.